Good afternoon. It is afternoon now, isn't it? Right, so I'm going to be talking about how we unlock discounts hidden in the supply chain. First of all, a bit about who I am. So, coincidentally, just like Ian, I've been working in IT procurement for 21 years now. My role at ProBrand is all about digital transformation. So, essentially helping customers like yourself take that procurement process and streamline it and put it in a sort of end-to-end digital piece to get you from A to Z fully digitally in procuring your products. So, first thing I want to talk about before we get into how we can save money using, and the key focus today will be special bids. So before we get into talking about special bids, and that's the good stuff that's going to teach you how you can save quite a lot of money, we need to just focus on some of the stuff that Ian's just gone over and understanding the IT supply chain, because as Ian said, unless you're procuring through this official IT supply chain, you're not going to get access to some of those discounting structures. So just to sort of quickly go over again what Ian mentioned, there's 4 tiers of an IT supply chain. Vendors sit at the top and they work with the distributors. They'll partner with 3 to 8 distributors across the 3 to 8 distributors across the country, and then they sell into about 9,000 resellers. We're one of them, ProBrand. We're one of the 9,000. So, and we all of you guys, which are the end user customers. Just wanted to sort of go over in a bit more depth than Ian touched upon there, what a non-authorised IT supply chain looks like, because it does also carry risk. Am I not close enough to that mic? Do you want to put it up or? Sorry. Is that better? Can everybody hear me? Doesn't help with the Black Country accent either, does it, to be fair? So on the left we've got an example of a non-authorised supply chain there. And this one's slightly different to the one that Ian showed earlier, because this actually includes the insertion of a sub-distributor or what we commonly refer to as brokers. That is a particularly dangerous non-authorised supply chain, because sub-distributors can do things like import stock from other areas of the EU and then flash that operating system with UK operating systems, causing issues later down the line. If you've got issues with products that you want to return and do warranty replacements on, that can often cause a lot of issues because they've been bought out of region and that vendor won't support. So that can be quite dangerous. The one on the right Ian went over, this would normally be where a smaller reseller may be buying off a larger reseller because they don't meet the criteria to engage directly with distributors. So it is really important that we're buying through an authorised supply chain. Some of the risks I've put here on the left-hand side: counterfeit products, probably not as sort of common as the other risks on there, but there is still that risk of buying counterfeit products. If you're buying Samsung, you don't want to end up with a Sing-Sung, right? So, grey market risks as well. So that again, that is all linked to this sub-distributor layer, where you can get products that have come into the UK that was not meant for the UK market. And that sort of knocks on the other effects of lack of warranty and support because you've bought grey stock, and then the hidden costs. Well, the hidden costs are obvious. Each one of these layers makes a profit, right? Each one of these layers has to add a margin. So if you've got 5 layers instead of 4, well, there's an extra layer of margin on your costs. So what are the benefits of using an authorised supply chain? Well, the first one, it mitigates all those risks that we've just mentioned, right? But it also builds vendor and customer relationships. So you get more support and opens access to vendor contacts. There's a load of vendors out there. I promise you, the more time you spend with them, building relationships, talking about your refreshes, etc., the better commercials you're going to get on the back end when you do actually come to having an opportunity or a requirement. You get access to product roadmaps, so you know what products are going end of life and when, and you get access to demo equipment and proof of concept devices. speak to the vendors. If there's a particular product that you're interested in rolling out across the organisation, they will demo you that equipment. They will loan that out to you for a period of a month or so and allow you to use those products. It's a legitimate route to supply adhering to all appropriate legislation as well. So I don't know if there's any public sector customers in here, but it ticks a lot of boxes by using an authorised supply chain. And of course the big one, the benefit of an authorised supply chain is you do get access to special bids, which is what I'm really here to talk about. So, interestingly, a show of hands, does anybody know what a special bid is? Not people from ProBrand. Yeah, was there anybody? So this is one of the issues with special bids, is anybody in the reseller world that's sitting in this room will know exactly what a special bid is because we use them every single day, yet customers don't have a clue what they are. So hopefully today that'll change that. So it's an agreement between an end user and the vendor for a reduced price on a particular project or rollout. And it's actually a price that's passed down to the reseller and not passed directly to the end user. So if you haven't engaged with that vendor, you're not going to know that agreement exists. Pricing is unique. Essentially, it's your price. So depending on the size of the opportunity, will be the size of the discount. Depending on what product it is, will determine how much money you get off that particular opportunity. It's awarded for early engagement with vendor, and it encourages direct conversations between you and the vendor. So although vendors don't sell directly to you guys, believe me, they want to talk to you. That's the most important part that you should learn today. And that's why we have them all here today, is because they really want to speak to end users, even though they don't do that transactional piece that comes through the supply chain. They have an extended validity period, and it's at a fixed cost. So you might get a special bid on 100 laptops for a period of 90 days, and that price will not move for those 90 days. And it can often be produced as a bulk order, or if you've got a lot of tail end spend, there might be people in the room that are buying the same products every single day and they're paying single unity quantity pricing. Well, you shouldn't be, because if you're buying a lot of that product, you could get those on special bids and you could be buying in the same manner, single unit quantities, but negotiated at that larger quantity. So what are the benefits? So the first one is pricing consistency. So if you cast your minds back to COVID, was anybody in this room buying laptops or anything during COVID? The pricing was ridiculous. It was up and down. It was mainly up, and people couldn't get their hands on product, right? Well, what a special bid would have given you in that situation is there would have been no difference in the price that you pay, because you'd have already negotiated a special bid on those products. So even market conditions that are quite horrendous would not have affected your pricing. So that is a really important one. The other one, discounts, that's fairly obvious. Based on the size of the opportunity, you're going to get more money off, right? But it also encourages product consolidation. So the more products you have on a bid from the same vendor, the more discount you're going to get. The more discount you get is a benefit in itself, but it also helps your IT teams as well. Nobody in IT wants to be fixing a Acer laptop 1 minute and then updating drivers on a HP laptop the following week. They want consistency in products across their IT suite. For obvious reasons, it streamlines that whole support process as well. They support flexible buying, as I've just mentioned, so you can buy in single unit quantities or you can buy in bulk. It allows you to forecast and budget really effectively as well. If you've got a fixed price on products for a certain amount of time, you can forecast how much you're going to be spending to the penny on those products over the next 6 months. So it really helps you put your budgets in order. And as I mentioned, you can turn regular churn into special bids. And what I mean by that is your tail end spend, your headsets, your keyboards, mice. Believe me, it is all eligible for special bidding. So please consider that and talk to us about how you can do that. So why is there a lack of transparency? I've done now 350 demos with customers of our platform. And the question I always ask is the question I asked you earlier, is Do you know what special bids are? And 8 out of every 10 people I speak to have no idea what they are. Well, why is that? Well, that's because the agreement and the pricing discount is between the reseller and the vendor. There's no obligation for them to pass that on to you guys. Nobody tells a reseller that they have to pass that discount on. So if you don't know a bid's been raised, trust me, your reseller can take that margin. So, and not only can they do that, right? So customers rarely engage with the vendor. This is, again, it's about vendor engagement. If you're only going to your reseller to get special bids, you're leaving it up to that reseller to decide what margin to pass on. Get the vendor involved. It should be a three-way conversation. It shouldn't be between you and your reseller. It should be between you, your reseller, and your vendor. And the less you know, the more advantage suppliers have in negotiation, right? So if they keep you in the dark, it's easier to pull the mask over you. So why should you involve the vendors? Well, first of all, their expertise. Your reseller can tell you, your resellers are going to be very good at advising what products for you to buy. However, are they going to be as good as the actual vendor? Probably not, right? Because the vendors know their products better than anybody. You will get better commercials because it's all a relationship game. This whole IT business is all about relationships. If you make a friend of one of them vendors out there and you're in constant contact with them, you are going to see better commercials. A really important one is they get paid. What does that mean? Every time you raise a special bid, it gets aligned to an account manager for your account. They get paid commission based on what they sell to you. So it is in their interest to make sure that they're selling cheap. If you don't raise a special bid and you just buy off portals or you're just buying off an account manager on a direct standard feed price, nobody at that vendor is getting paid on that deal. So it's really important because they're incentivized to be cheap for you. And they want you to benefit from the discounts, right? They expect to be up against other vendors. So they want those discounts to be passed on to the customer. They don't want them to go and be eaten up by the reseller layer. So what are the myths around special bids? So the people I spoke to who do know about special bids often say that the pricing is only based on a lump sum purchase, and I have to order the full quantity, and we can't extend bids. So once they expire, we go back to paying expensive prices. Not true. So products can be procured in small batches over time. You are under no contract to consume the full bid quantity. Over-egg it, always over-egg it. If you've got a requirement for 20 laptops, tell us it's for 50. It's fine, right? We'll raise that special bid. We'll get you the best discount we possibly can. All you're doing is registering an opportunity with a vendor that may come into fruition. It's no guarantee, and the vendors understand that. You can extend and you can add quantity. So what you should be doing is knowing full well when those bids are going to expire and then renewing those bids, extending them for another 90 days, keeping that pricing as consistent as you possibly can. So how do you raise special bids? Well, the obvious one for me to say is come and speak to ProBrand. We'll advise you exactly on how you do that. Send us your preferred device lists, stuff that you're buying a lot of, and let us go and get those special bids on your behalf and introduce you to the vendors and work with you to give you the best pricing we possibly can through the authorised channel. Request a meeting with us. Again, a three-way meeting with us and your vendor and the vendor in question. The other one is, and I wouldn't be doing my job if I wasn't trying to push our platform, is obtain access to the program platform and book a demo. So our online platform, our procurement platform, actually allows you to self-serve off special bids. No other reseller can do that. That's just fact. So you can actually negotiate the pricing. We can spin it up as your own personalised pricing catalogue, and you can go on there and you can self-serve and continue to buy at that discounted price. There's an example of that on there. I don't know if you guys can see it from there, but you'll see that down here you've got the pricing table, which is standard feed price coming from those multiple distributors that Ian was talking about. So a good example is HP. They work with 3 distributors. Those are their standard pricing. And this particular customer has a special bid on that particular product, and you can see it's cheaper than the standard feed by quite a significant amount, and this customer can self-serve in quantities of 1, 2, 10, whatever it is they need. And that's me.